I'm just finishing up a little workout and my brain has just been spinning. So I'm walking over to this hill near our house right now to do the last little bit I have planned for today. And as I was doing some other stuff, I remembered that today, July 8th, is the day I reported for my initial training at the FBI Academy in Quantico 7 years ago today. And if you followed me at all, you know that a lot has happened since then. All right, I had to pause it. Somebody cutting their grass. Some of that has been public. As you may know, I testified in front of Congress as a whistleblower in May of 2023. And that is really what has kind of thrust me into this position, or this little bit more of a public domain. But for a long time now, I've been thinking that's not what defines who I am. There's some of you out there who followed a little bit closer, and you probably have realized some of the other defining characteristics of who I am. And although I'm still in this battle with the FBI and trying to get some tiny modicum of justice, for quite a while now I've been ready to move on and trying to plan and think what that is. As just about any whistleblower will tell you, the career prospects are pretty grim once you get the asterisk of whistleblower behind your name. So I don't know what that means for the future, but as I'm doing this today and thinking about the future, I'm wearing one of my Last Line Strength t-shirts, which is something I started as I was in the middle of the hiring process with the FBI. And I was a police officer at the time and got the first run of t-shirts done back then and kind of peddled them at my PD. And people thought it was awesome, and they really liked the shirts. And then fast forward, all these years later, me and some of the other FBI whistleblowers decided, why don't we sell some merch? And so we started selling some of the suspendable stuff, like you can see this patch right here. And so I kind of took the helm of that because I had a little bit of knowledge of what that looked like. I've been doing that for a couple years now, but I think it's time to take it to the next level, to the next step. And so I'm gonna try to focus in on Last Line Strength. Really, it's a rebuilding phase of my life in so many ways. Because when I got out of the military, I struggled like a lot of guys do. I struggled immensely, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And it took me a long time to figure out how to deal with that and how to even open up about it with my wife or people who weren't there. I've come a long way in that regard. And I think in the last couple of years, it's finally time to turn the page, so to speak, and start coming a long way again. Because when I was suspended, it was very unsuspecting for me. And we've been trying to fight this battle and pick up the pieces in the meantime. That included not having a bigger focus for the future, because we were basically we've been just trying to get through each day. But each day has turned into weeks and months and years now. And although we aren't done with this fight, this battle, and in a way we probably never will be, we got to start moving forward in a different way. So I'm going to start focusing in on Last Line Strength a little bit, and I still plan on doing my Substack. For the few of you out there who follow that, that's lastline.substack.com. And the suspendable stuff will still be around. It'll still be available. But I'm going to focus in on Last Line Strength. And it's just apparel right now, but I'm going to expand. I'm not entirely sure the direction quite yet, but I've got some ideas. If you've got some or anything you're interested in, just drop a comment. I'm going to put this out on Twitter and Rumble. Some of you probably follow me there, but I'm also going to put this on my YouTube as the first video for my YouTube. You can follow me at the same place on all those. It's at GOBActual at pretty much anywhere. I've got some travel coming up this summer. Some of you know a dear friend of mine passed away unexpectedly. A guy who stood up in my wedding, a guy I went to Iraq with. Arguably, he was one of the closest people to me, if not the closest person to me, when I was in the Army. So we're going to be going up to Alaska for a celebration of life for him. And I'm kind of coordinating the Army guy side of things for that. But a big piece of my background, even after I got out of the Army and was struggling, eventually it was fitness and health. And that has been a piece that has really slipped away in the last couple of years again. And so it's something I'm going to focus in on. I'm going to try to document it a little bit better, a little bit more, so you guys can follow along. And, honestly, I don't even want it necessarily to be about me. But I think it's important to show the journey. I'm not here to impress you. I'm not impressive. Certainly not physically anymore. But like I said, it's that rebuilding phase. And I want you to join me in it. I know we all are on a different path, but there's a lot of crossover, whether it's health and fitness or diet or whatever the case may be, our faith, or maybe you don't have a faith. I still want this to be a place for everybody to be open and to share their journey and their struggles. And, hopefully along the way I can highlight some of the journeys that you all are on. Stay tuned. Last Line Strength, I'm going to put a lot more effort into that and see where it goes to rebuild body, mind, and spirit, because those are kind of the three cornerstones of this physical life on earth that we have to take care of and we have to strengthen. When I first started Last Line Strength, or the idea behind it, it was more about fitness than anything, and health. And as important of an aspect that is, it's just one of the pieces of the triangle. The mind and the spirit are equally as important, and they all lean on each other, and they all work together and focus on each other. And they need each other. They need the other pieces to be strong. So stay tuned and hold the line.